before the whole lockdown, you were talking about the vast importance of qualifying for Europe and everything. With the losses that all the clubs have made over the financial year, so is there even more pressure on you now to get into Europe this season because of the losses the club have made this summer?
Well, the fact that we haven't been in Europe for the last 3 seasons has put an enormous amount of pressure on the club in the financial terms. We know what our responsibility and the aim and how much that will relax the financial position that we are in. But we have to go game by game. At the moment, that is not achievable in 1 game or in 2 games. So it's more a long term in this process of the last 10, 11 games that we have. And we have to go game by game. We know the target, we know the task, we know the difficulty of it because there are a lot of clubs involved in that fight, but we have to give it a go and believe that we can do it.
But when you look at someone like Chelsea, who are already spending 55 million pounds on strikers, do you sort of worry that this summer you could be almost handicapped, by the lack of funds that could be available to you?
Well, let's see. We are trying to put a plan together to improve what we have. If we haven't been able to do or achieve the goals that we wanted in the last 3 years, is a reason behind it. And if we stand still, obviously that gap will be bigger and bigger. And I haven't come here to accept or to do that. So the challenge for all of us is, first of all, to improve the players that we have and find the ways to improve the squad in the right position in order to give us the best possible chance and the tools that we need to compete at that level that is getting higher and higher every year.
Can I ask you briefly, there was talk about David Luiz and maybe extending his contract. Has any decision been made on that at all yet?
I'm really happy with David. I want to keep him here with us. He's been a key role model for me since I joined. I like what he produces on the pitch. I like his influence around the players and around the club, and I would love to keep him.
And can I just ask you finally, just about the logistics of the game tomorrow? Because obviously it's completely different. I mean, things like travelling to the game, how are you going to get to the game? How is it going to affect your team talk? Stuff like that, all these sort of...
Yeah, it's a new experience and a new challenge. We're going to have 4 away games in a row the moment that we start playing. And we just try to do it with the help of everybody at the club to try to do it in the nicest and easier way. But you have to travel on the day, the afternoon of the game. You have to use different buses, and you have to go straight to the stadium. We don't have a hotel to stay. We don't have anywhere to have a meal. So we have to adapt, and it's a challenge.
Just on the financial element again, you mentioned a few months ago that you're planning for various different scenarios to do with transfer spending this summer. Has that become any more clear? And for example, we see reports all the time that you want to spend £50 million on a midfielder. Is that even realistic given the financial climate that the club's currently in?
Well, the plans I have, it wasn't obviously considering the coronavirus and all the side effects that had, but we know what we have to do to improve the team, that's for sure. Whether we're going to be able to do it the way we want, that will be a different story. But my focus right now is just to improve the team, get the results that we need, give us the best chance possible to get into Europe, convince the player that that's the right place for them and the right environment for them, and work from there.
And in terms of the match itself, it's now been it's been around 5.5 years since Arsenal won away at a Big Six side, and that was in January 2015 when you were part of the team still against Manchester City. What does that say about the team, and why is that, and how important is it that changes?
Well, we know how difficult it is to win away in the Premier League against any opponent and against the top 6. Obviously, even harder, but a club like Arsenal cannot be that long without winning if you want to compete with the big 4, 5, 6 players in this country. So we have to change that straight away. Feel comfortable being away in a ground just to win, and that should be the mentality. And that's the way we will travel to Manchester, knowing how difficult is the opponent, how good they are, but just focusing on what we can do and what we can control.
Some scientists said that you might have saved thousands of lives by getting coronavirus and therefore suspending that weekend's football. I just wonder if you'd thought about that, or if you're aware of that and how that must feel, because it must be quite a strange thing to experience.
I have think about it, and I thought the night that I started to have some symptoms, how serious that was, and it was a matter that I could not make a decision, but that it had to be reported because obviously I could put in risk a lot of people, and I wasn't willing to do that. I love this game, but we have bigger responsibilities than that to do that. I think we made the right call and the right decision, and I think after the authorities and the Premier League as well went really strong on that, and I think I agree with you that it could have been much worse.
Just Mikel, on that first year you had at Manchester City with Pep, obviously everyone talks about the change you made on the pitch with the football, but how important was at the end of that season when Pep didn't win a trophy for the first time in his career? The whole club got behind him. They understood the need for it to take time and the philosophy was given. How important was that? And how much do you want to recreate something like that at Arsenal where there is that unity and understanding that things will take time?
I've said it many times that I gave a lot of credit to Chiqui, Ferran Soriano, and all the directors and the owners, because instead of creating any doubts about what Pep wanted to do at the club, they went even more convinced and even stronger to support him that that was the right way, and it was about time to have the success that they needed. And obviously the work that after Pep did and the players that we had at the time obviously supported all the ideas and all the right direction that it was in place. But from upstairs, it was zero doubt that it was the right investment to do, the right moment to do it with the right person, and it was very convincing.
And you've obviously got quite a young squad here. Just how big would it be for them in terms of the morale, not only for these 9 games, but long term to go and start with getting a result at Manchester City?
Yeah, that would be great. We have been missing the game for 3 months. They are all desperate. They are with a lot of uncertainty about how they're going to feel, how it's going to look like when they get into a stadium competing for 3 points in the Premier League. So we could start with 3 points. Obviously, it will be a massive lift for everybody in what we are trying to achieve.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.